Hello, 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 and hello to everyone in television land. Welcome to another exciting edition of the Gospel Package. I'm always right here, one of our brand gospel artists, to bring you all the happenings within the gospel scene right in LIB. And I'm here to do one of our bro finest homo and entrepreneur who will be telling us his life story. A young guy who is very determined, trying to transform a lot of young people's life out there to make use out of it. He will be telling us his life story and some of the things he's going through right now, some of the projects he's undertaking on this edition of the program, the Gospel Package. Trady McMilly, how to welcome to the Gospel Package.
Thanks a lot, bro. I appreciate the invitation.
Yeah, bro, since you came back from China, I've been trying to probably hook you up to get you on the show, but it's like you've been so busy for me.
Yeah, very busy. I'm glad to be here today.
I know. Yeah, how to welcome again.
Yeah.
So, okay, a lot of people out there have been following you from way back then to the cycle time, out to the gospel time, and all to another time trying to change it into a game.
Yeah.
And they don't know much about you, so can you just tell us something about Trady McMilly?
Yes, I'm Isaac Lever from Virginia. I'm from Bon County, and I've been into the rap game since 2005. I have too many experience. Yes, and you know, being into the rap game from 2005 up to today's date, I just want to say that I have this great passion for music that is keeping me, and that's where I am today.
All right, so before I can really start hitting up, let me just ask you another one. How was it like for you growing up as a child? Was everything okay, or do you have some terrible times, some difficult times growing up as a child?
Coming up as a child, I really didn't have those difficult times because, you know, I grew up with my parents. They had everything for me when I was a kid, and till up to the age of 16 when I decided that I want to be a musician. But then, before that time, as a kid, it was really great for me.
Everything was okay.
Yeah.
It was not like you went through some difficult, some tough time.
No.
All right, so you growing up as a child, you started a career as a secular artist. And then I can remember way back then, I had a record when you guys came out with that mistake, that tribute song to
Yeah.
Tim when he passed away. How do you compare that life with now? You being a secular artist from a very young age and at this point.
You know, that song we did for Tim, it was my first time going into studio.
Yeah.
At that time, I was the least.
I know.
Seriously, yes, I was the least on that. I consider myself to be the least on that song. But today,
You're not the least
I'm
anymore.
way on top. I feel that I'm the best right now.
I know.
Yeah.
So how was your life then being a secular artist? From the beginning of your career, you trying to package yourself out and you observing that you have so many temptations like devil. So how was it?
You know, I can't blame myself because when I was coming up, I started playing soccer. And then after I started getting closer to music, my entire focus was on secular music. I was looking at 50 Cent, the Ja Rule, the Nas, the JC, and all of that. So I became a secular musician. And, you know, I made 50 Cent my role model.
I know.
Yes.
Way back then, everybody be the LIB 50 Cent.
Yeah,
50 Cent, yeah.
50 Cent. Yeah, I made him my role model. I started writing secular song. I never knew anything about gospel song. Actually, my entire focus was on secular music, and at that point, I wanted to be 100% like 50 Cent. So you can imagine the life that 50 Cent lived in America. I started imitating him 100%. His entire life influenced me. Until I ended up going into the gym to, do weightlifting. Yes, to get big like him, sound like him, dress like him, even walk like him, do everything like 50 Cent. So my entire life was influenced by the secular world back then, yeah, when I started.
So I want to know how this translation take place. How you were transformed from being a secular artist to a gospel artist. What was that word that touched you that made you walk on? You couldn't sleep that night just thinking like this is not a right path anymore.
You know, it was in 2011 when I was in Ivory Coast, and right after the war in Ivory Coast, yes, after the former president of Ivory Coast, Mr. Gbagbo, was captured, I arrived in San Pedro, and unfortunately for me, I was arrested and falsely accused of being a rebel, and I was imprisoned. And there was no way that they could have investigated me because I never knew how to speak the French, and they couldn't speak the English, so I was just in prison. They never had any time to investigate me. I was unable to properly explain myself. So I said to God that this thing I found myself in, if you get me out of this situation, trust me, I'm going to do whatever it takes to praise you. And you can see I'm here today.
You came out, you just decided to say, but
Yeah.
you being a secular artist, then you have so many collabs with foreign artists. You're even working on a collab with Timaya. Then
Yeah.
Timaya was the hottest artist in Africa. Then you have some with Yogi Don from Sierra Leone. Some of the biggest artists then we're talking about in Africa. So was it that easy for you to just translate? Like even though God saved your life, then just imagine all of this impact you're making then and just trying to swap over the way you're going to start from a new beginning.
I think it's not about a new beginning. It's the same rapping. The only thing I was doing was changing the lyrics and composing my lifestyle, because as a secular musician you have to do secular things. As a gospel musician, your life gets influenced and regulated by the gospel. So I think it was not very hard for me. And the only thing, right, as a gospel musician, you're going to read the Bible and read scriptures, read about Christ and read about repentance and praises to God. So your lyrics would change, but it's the same rapping, it's the same balls, and just different style. But so because of that, it was not really difficult.
Well, not really difficult. So what are some of the differences you saw between being a secular artist and being a gospel artist?
I think being a secular artist, you give your love, it's so risky. There are too many risks involved. Being a gospel artist, I feel that you are on safe side, because there are so many risky things that you will stay away from. And then the risks will reduce and you will feel safer than being a secular musician.
Like you that time that I knew like trading McMilly. So you trying to leave all of your girls, all of your hanging out with your boys, going out to the club and just trying to like live that whole life because you want to do it right.
You have to do it, because you cannot be telling someone in your rap music, you need to repent, and yourself you're not repenting. So at the end of the day, it's like you're not going to, people not going to give their ears to your music.
So when you changed being from secular artist to a gospel artist, what change did it add to your life?
It made me more responsible. It brought a different look at life to me. I saw things different, and it made me very much responsible.
It made you a better person.
A better person, yeah, I can say that.
So was there any additional value that was added to your life that wasn't added when you were a secular artist?
Yes, when I was a secular artist, there are certain things that I never saw. Yeah, I never saw the actual meaning of life. I was just doing music, but then when I started doing gospel, the 2 million recollection, I started to look at things differently, and things, the way I composed myself then was quite different from how I composed myself as a secular artist. My agenda, my goals, everything's changed. It became a better one, Yeah.
All right. So after you become a gospel artist, you found out a crew then, the Jesus Nigga. So how is Jesus Nigga operating right now?
Currently, Jesus Nigga is doing great. We are even better than before, because to speak. Back then we used to go to Jackie Rose to do our song. Yeah, he used to do all of our recording. And currently, as we speak, Jesus Nigga is no longer paid to do song. We just go in the studio like every Friday and just tarry before the night ends. We have 2 new songs recorded. And currently, the team has an album that will be coming up very soon. We are still working on the songs, and before the dry season comes,
So you still maintain the name Jesus Nigga you got, because the name Jesus Nigga sounds a little bit like
controversial.
Yes, like if you say a nigga, especially for this part of the world, it sounds negative in our ears. So you still maintain that same name, and how do people really relate to it?
No, we have changed the name.
Okay.
Yes, when we started using Jesus Niggas, we were trying to, the word Jesus means savior.
Yeah.
And nigga, we were trying to look at it as a slave and telling people that we're a slave for Jesus. And we have scriptures that back that and everything. But then everywhere we go, people ask the name, but I can say the name helps sales, because it's controversial, and when we go somewhere, people debate the name. At the end of the day, the team gets popular. But we have changed the name because we just want to do you get away with that acumen part of it? So right now we are no longer Jesus niggas, we are called saved saddest.
Safe side.
Safe Saddest.
So Jesus nigga then when you guys probably like invited for crusade or something. But the other time you probably caught up on stage, you probably like, wow, Jesus niggas, we should have done Jesus niggas.
So the name, people, you know, lots of people never really had time for the name. They were only carried away by the team, our message, our music, our style. But then other people who were accurate, and then at the end of the day, they would say, hey, you guys have to change that name to get away with this too much argument. You know?
All right.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm right here today having a wonderful time with Trady McMilly, one of Liberia's finest rapper. He was a secular artist, turned to be a gospel artist, and right now he's between secular and gospel. He's Liberian arcade. Before he was then 50 Cent, nice arcade. So right after this break, we'll be discussing about his trip to China and his new record label he just funded, a studio that was set up from his store in China. So let's take this music break. Right after the break, we'll be talking with Trady McMilly.
Be my hand, take the wheel. I desire you in my heart, guide my mouth, and mold me every day. Hold my hand up high above the sky. Be my shield, oh my daily helper, conqueror. I am no more from my side. I've got my mind made up, pursuing your throne. Be my shield, oh my daily helper, conqueror. You have got victory. Oh, you are my victory. You are my victory. Yeah. Be my hand, lead me through, grant me insight that I may be wise. Be my eyes that I may see as you through the dark. Oh yeah, victory. My shield, oh my daily helper, conqueror. I am no more vice from my side. I've got my mind made up, pursue
Welcome back to the program, the Gospel Package. If you're watching Walk Over TV in America or any part of the world or on Stockholm Online TV, I say I'll be welcome to the Gospel Package. I've been having a wonderful time right in the studio with one of Liberia's finest and homo rapper, young, very intelligent. This guy, I've been working very hard for years to improve the Liberian entertainment industry. He had a story recently to China and just returned to Liberia. He's right here on the Gospel Package, and I've been talking to him. So, trading by media, I learned that you was in China for a couple of months, I think, year plus, right?
No, I was in China for just 10 months.
10 months, okay, you didn't make the year there. So, how was the trip to China?
It was very great, very fruitful. Thank God.
You made it.
Yeah. What I went for was achieved.
So, give us some of your experience being in China.
Yeah. In China, it was actually a different life, different world, different everything.
I know.
I went there purposely to make money and return home with a record label so that I can be able to create opportunities for young rappers, young musicians, talented people. All right. And when I got there, things, the way, when I went there with a plan that this is what I would do to make money. I never had a plan B. But when I got there with that single plan, it became like impossible to implement. So I had to create a plan B. And a plan B was make use of my talent, go on stage, rap for the Chinese people, entertain them, and get paid. And I was not doing that in the church. I planned on doing that in the church. But at the end of the day, I got to know that the people don't even like that thing in the church. No, it's not like that down there. So instead of being rapping in the church, I started rapping in the club, at the entertainment center, just so that I could raise to something to come back and establish this record label. But it was a total new experience for me because that's not what I want to do. I ended up doing it. At the end of the day, what I raised, what I collected, what I made, I used it to buy equipment, and then I came home with the record label. Currently, we have the studio established.
So you've been performing in clubs, probably a lot of people dancing up to your rap song, a lot of people dancing up to your lyrics. Were you able to probably get collab with some of the Chinese big artists?
Yeah, I did. I was living in a city called Foshan, closer to Guangzhou, like 45 minutes drive. And the biggest musician there, a Chinese guy, is called J&W. He heard me rap on the stage, and then he came to me and said, "I like your style, you freestyle very good. I would like for us to do a collab." We did a song, we did a video, and it's out in China. It's being played in Hong Kong, on Hong Kong national television. It's being played on Hong Kong MTV or China, and it's even being aired in China too.
Wow, so that's a great achievement for you.
Yeah, very great achievement.
That alone said in the face, like I think China had the highest population in the world. So
yeah, 1.43
some
billion.
billion, yeah. So you being on the national TV in China is something like it's a huge boost for your career.
Yeah, and I was surprised. I even traveled other part of the city, and people saw me and they said, "We know this guy." Chinese people walk up to me.
Take pictures out of
They
it.
say, "Yeah, we know you will watch a video." And started shaking my hands and taking pictures. I was surprised. I said, "Wow, this is great." Yeah.
So that popularity, have it affected you being a gospel rapper? It probably played on you mentally or something like that.
Yeah, actually, because when I got there, I had a different experience, and I was totally into secular activities, into worldly activities, and though it was not what I went to do, but then it had a new life on me, new experience, everything, new influence and everything on me, seriously. Yeah.
So you coming back now, you accomplish your goal you set up in China. Before going to China, the goal you set up, you accomplish it, you back now with the studio. So tell us something about the Homeland record.
Yeah, Homeland record is established to go out there, look for talented underground musicians. Yeah. See how best we can work with them, develop their talent, sign contract with them, produce them, promote them, and make them superstar. And it is also an opportunity for my musical career. Yeah.
All right, so you've been between the line now because traveling to China gave you new experience, new way of life, new way of thinking, coming back home now. So are Liberian gospel artists also going to benefit from Homeland record or just the underground artists?
Currently, as we speak, we are doing a mixtape for gospel musicians. A mixtape that is free of charge for gospel musicians. And the mixtape for the gospel musician is being controlled by Safe Siders, former the Jesus Niggas. Right? So we are also giving back to gospel musicians. We haven't signed any gospel musician right now. We are only working with Safe Siders, and trust me, Safe Siders even big. Jesus Nigga is bigger than before. We have only 2 rappers, Sabadi and I, but now we have 4 rappers. So whenever there is a gospel musician that wants to benefit from the Homeland record free of charge, we bring them to link with the Safe Sider because we want to make it like a big team.
Alright, yeah, so you got like one gospel artist from outside rapping with one of the Safe Sider teammates, right?
No, we have them on the Safe Sider right now. They have joined the Safe Sider and they are being
part of the Safe Sider.
Yeah, they are part of the Safe Sider and they are being managed by Homeland Records.
So I'm a gospel artist right now, and I'm not part of the Safe Sider. If I want to do a song in the Homeland record, is it forced for me to be part of the force of the genre?
But we have, like I said, we have this gospel mixtape that's coming up, and we have started the production, right? So if you want to do a song and you want to be a part of the mixtape, we give you a chance to be on the mixtape. If you don't want to be on the mixtape, you paid money to come and something. If you want to, if you have interest in being a part of the Safe Sider and you are talented, we know that you can do something. Because music is like, what you give, you need to get back, all right? We need to sign people. We need to work with people that have exceptional talents, people that are, good, that if we produce, we can be able to get something back out of them. So once you come, you're a gospel musician, we'll bring you on board the Safe Sider, and we'll produce for you, promote you free of charge. That's what we're doing right now.
All right, so you coming back to China right now and set up the Homelands right there. What next? What next do you have in mind doing?
Yes, actually, I have planned to make use of this Homeland Records to promote young talents. I also plan to promote myself. So currently I am going solo. I'm doing inspirational songs and gospel music. Some of my songs you will hear me talking about my experience as a hustler. And some of my songs you will hear me giving praises to God, to Jesus. Right? So I'm doing inspirational song right now for those that are out there trying to survive, and I'm also doing gospel music for people that need to repent.
So do you rather think within your own mind and you can get back at that path that Tracy McMilly used to do? Way back then, when you get up in the street, everybody like rushing up to see LIB 50 Cent. I remember way back then, if you bought a cool 8 on the camper, but when the tune of that cool already gone, everybody already like rushing up to that. I can remember way back then, I think Carrie Chapel, Carrie Mission, yes. We went up there one time, you bought a cool 8 from a guy in less than 3, 4, 5 minutes.
His entire cooler was empty. Everybody
was empty, yeah. I can still remember that experience. You think you still get back to that?
Yeah, actually, that's what the studio is for. Right now, I have an advantage. Way back, I used to pay money to do something. Right now, I have an advantage, and I'm doing everything possible to make sure my music take over the entire country. Yes, I'm going to pass that level. I still have what it takes. I'm even better than before. Yes.
So like you're coming back now because it's like you're doing it almost like the Western world, like R. Kelly doing using his own talent God given to reach out to the people, using it also to win soul for Christ. That's the kind of style right now. So do you think like other artists that have been blowing up in the trigger, those artists that just come that just blew up recently, are they giving you that respect, like calling, like trying to get a collab with somebody, then it's like, oh yeah, Trey can come, well, let's do a collab with somebody, being like, oh no, you're shying yourself away from you?
I'm working on a song called Eternity, where I talk about I wish to live for eternity. I talk about my experience as a hustler when I was coming up. I was on the first floor. My daddy told me you need a rec mode, talking about my life experience way back, and I decided to bring a big rapper on this track for us to do it together. And I talked to Christopher, and he agreed about it. And he and I rode the same plane from Ghana to Liberia. We sat close to each other just like this, and he told me, he said, hey, Trilly, I have great respect for you. Whenever you need me on a song, just WhatsApp it to me, and I will come running to you. And most of them that I tap today, they still have respect for me. Like I respect them too. So doing a collab with them is not hard for me.
All right, Tracy McMilly. As there's a time it's man, there's enemies, because the time we take is run faster. So, what is the final word out to young artists that want to be like you? Somebody that's trying to make that way through. I don't know how to get through.
And I can tell people the reason why I'm sitting here today is because when I was coming up, I always used to stay away from drugs. Right? I always stayed away from drugs.
No, I used to drink.
I never used to drink. I never used to smoke. I was always someone cool. And I had a friend that he and myself was very close. You know him very well, Trick Bone.
Yeah, Trick Bone, yeah.
Trick Bone started smoking and then started taking drugs, so that he's mentally ill. So I can always give the advice to young musicians: if you want to reach the peak, and if you want to maintain your life and want to stay healthy, stay away from drugs. Yeah, stay away from drugs. Focus on the music, and you can achieve whenever you want to achieve. You can achieve whatever you want to achieve. All you need to do is stay on the safe side. Stay away from drugs.
You focus. So when do we expect to see Home Run Record in 2 to 3 years to come?
Before the year ends, Home Run Records is going to take over the entire country. Both on the gospel side and on the secular side. We are going to take over, yes, before this year. We are cooking new songs every day, and trust me, man, before dry season starts, we are going to start releasing those songs out.
So if anybody watching this program right now that cross like, girl, I want to get a Home Run Record to do a song, how do they get a Home Run Record? Can you give the location or probably a contact?
We have our studio at the ELWA community, right opposite the ELWA compound. And we have our business number is 077-7754-730. That's our business number.
Can you call it? You just call it.
077-7754-730. That's our business number, right?
So any gospel artist that is watching this program, or secular artist that want to get to Home Run Record and do a song, you can just contact that number again at the opposite of the ELW compound and just ask for Home Run Record. I know Trading by Media is still popular outside. Just ask for Trading.
Yeah, just ask.
Yeah, I know you're going to get the Trading fast. So Trading, what is your final word when you're out of time?
I want to thank this Light TV family for having me here, and to my brother.
I know.
I want to thank you for bringing me. And thank to everyone for the time. I appreciate 100%.
And it was also nice having you right here, even though it's been difficult since you came back from China. But at least it's nice having you still. Hope to have you in the nearby future. Maybe if you guys are already done with some of your project and about to launch it out.
We'll come back and talk about it.
I know, it was nice having you. I want to say a big thank you to the entire Light TV family for this wonderful production. My cameraman, Light Band, the man that is behind the technical room doing everything to get this program successful today. And I want to say a happy belated birthday to me. Yesterday was my birthday and nobody said happy birthday to me from the Light TV family. So I'm already mad at everybody for that. So join me next time, same station, for another edition of the program. I remain your favorite boy, Incredible. I am Emmanuel Huff. Catch you next time.